Hello, Kimasabi. How's everybody doing today? I wanted to go over a few things here today. One of them is I wanted to talk about conceptual blending and go over that a little bit more than what I've been talking about in the past. And I'd like to focus more on the application of the cards than the actual cards themselves. The cards are important, but it makes no difference what deck you're using. And the way I write my books is you could relate to any of my any deck you want to use. My books are still something you can still understand your deck with, and that's because I think any deck you use is not important as long as you like the deck. So if you like the deck, use it. Well, what I really think is important is the application, and that's what I like to try to focus on more than the cards. And I see the application as a creative thinking technique known as conceptual blending. I talk about that a lot, and I really go into it in depth. Or no, I go into it depth in my books, but Essential Tarot I went into it pretty deep, and Bare Bones Tarot I have a chapter on it too. But it's a real simple message. The explanation is pretty simple. It's just a matter of seeing it and understanding it, and then from there proceeding on with your readings with that in mind, that this is what we're doing. Opens up a lot of things for you. So it makes you realize that the application is what's more important than the cards themselves. And I think that that's really helpful to know that. So what is a card spread? A card spread is a collection of issues that pertain to a question, and we call these positions on a card spread. They're called positions. Each position has meaning, and it's supposed to be something relevant into the question we're looking at. So most card spreads are templates type setup where it's position 1 always means this, position 2 that, position 3, regardless of the question. So these have to be positions that will be helpful no matter what the question is. And if it's not, then you need to find a different card spread for this particular question. But if you got a card spread that works good for any question, I really think you're better off with that. And that's what I did with my Celtic Cross. I think my Celtic Cross, using it for over 20 years as a professional, I never had a question that I couldn't really be helpful with in some way with my cross. But positions of a card spread. The card spread's there before cards are laid into it. And it's something we really don't see. You don't see it on the table. You only see the cards that are laid into it once they're there. But the card spread is your question broken apart into sections, different aspects of your question that are important to look at. And then tarot cards are placed into those positions as answers, or suggestions as answers, to the card spread position it's placed with. So the tarot cards are a random stimulus that's placed into an element of a question, forcing us to make associations between this random card as it pertains to the position it's placed with. that element of the question, that section of the question, that aspect of the question. And seeing it's random, we have to use our imagination, and we have to come up with ways to find a helpful association of some type between this card and the position it's placed with in regards to the question we're looking at. Usually this is done by making a metaphorical type of association with the card to the question it's placed with. Today this will be defined as conceptual blending. It's a creative thinking technique taught in our colleges. It's used in medicine, science, technology. Our advancements in artificial intelligence use conceptual blending. Conceptual blending, the term didn't even become official in psychology until 1993. So it's fairly new compared to tarot card reading. But you can see that this is an identical application. Tarot card reading is identical to what a conceptual blending application is. And they're done for the same reason, to find answers to something we're looking into. Answers are a prediction. In other words, seeing into the future. So from what I'm seeing in this reading, I think if you do this, and this, and this, you'll be successful in what you're trying to accomplish. That's a prediction. That still has to be done yet, so it's looking into the future. And that's what we're doing. So looking at the application as a part of the whole process that's really a key part of the process, it's really more important on the cards. I can use that. If you look at a conceptual blending, you realize you can use anything in the room you're in right now, or anything you want to think about as an association or randomness to be added to elements of the question. It's just a tarot reader limits their randomness to a deck of 78 tarot cards. And that's what we do. And we make associations between the random tarot card to the element of the question it's placed with, known as a card spread position, to find helpful ideas to the question we're looking into. That today would be defined as conceptual blending. But I also wanted to talk today about how important these positions, meanings of these positions are. That's the whole part of the application that's really important. It's significant to have useful position meanings that will be helpful to any question we're looking into. And as cards are placed into these positions, depending on what position a card is placed into, will be determining how we interpret that card. And I call that positional influence. So if I take the Magician card and I have it placed in position 1, it'll have a different interpretation than if it was placed in position 5 of my Celtic cross, because it's answering a different question. Positional influence. If it's placed in position 8, the card would be interpreted differently than if it was placed in position 5, or position 1, or position 9, or wherever else. Each position shifts the card a little bit. Because it's answering a different question. I'm going to turn this around so you can see this. I'm going to show you what I did with the last chapter of my book, Bare Bones Tarot, is positional influence. Okay, so what I've done here with positional influence is, the last chapter, Positional influence. Card positions influence what we see in the cards. And what I've done is I've taken, start with the aces, and we go over into each position of a Celtic cross 10-part spreads. What's an ace going to mean in the number 1 position? What's an ace going to mean in the number 2 position? Aces I have combined. Ace in the 3 position, ace in the 4 position, what it means. 5 position, 6 position, 7 position, an ace. 8 position, ace. 9 position, ace. 10 position, ace. And that gives you a range of how those cards, an ace could shift its meanings depending on the position or what it's trying to answer. Same way with the 2s, 3s, 4s, all the way through, 5s, 7s, through the whole deck. Pages, knights, and kings, and then the major arcana, same way. So what's a fool going to mean in the number 1 position of a Celtic cross? Number 2 position, Celtic cross. Fool, the number 3 position, Celtic cross. 4 position. And it shows how the card twists a little bit and tilts a little bit in its meaning. 5 position, Celtic cross. 6 position. 7 position. 8 position. 9 position. 10 position. And then we go into the magician card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Magician. High priestess. Number 1 position, 2 position, and so on. And you go through the whole. And what that shows you, if you read all positions of, let's say, the chariot, and you start to see how this card's meaning can be interpreted in different ways depending on what position of the spread it's laid into, it really opens up the range of meaning the card can have. And I really think that that's helpful. Again, I like to focus more on the application, and I think the application has a lot to do with the positions and what those positions mean as far as how we interpret the card. So, positional influence. That's in this book too. So anyway, positional influence. I really think what I like about that in my book is no one else, I've never seen anybody else do that, what I did with that. And I think that gives you a real good range of what that card can mean, depending on where it's placed. And I think that could be helpful. Another thing, I'd just like to close up here by saying that January 12th is our monthly get-together. I'll have a link to tarot maps down below. Go to Virtual Tarot, or Tarot Gatherings, I think it's called now, in the menu. And it'll take you to a page that's a link to our Zoom meeting. And it's just, everybody's welcome to go. It's just a bunch of people sitting around talking about cards. And it's our monthly get-together. Think of it like a lounge. So you could just come on by and say hello, stay for 10 minutes, or you could spend the whole time there. It's about a couple hours long. Welcome to come on by. Doesn't cost anything, and it's just there. I also wanted to mention that in Bare Bones Tarot, the book is out now, and it's been out for about a couple weeks now. But I had it mistakenly out for sale in December 15th, I think, through the 17th. And this was my mistake. I had it up there. I didn't realize it was released yet. I didn't think I was still fine tuning the book. So nobody knew about it, but it was for sale on Amazon. And I sold 3 books of what they had. It was still being corrected. The books people got, there's 3 of them. 3 people got books. I don't know who they are, but what they got is fine. But it's been slightly polished since then. And what's out there now is a finished book, and it's fine. But so these 3 people, whoever they are, if you would like, seeing the book is a little different than what you have, what's for sale is a little different than what you have. If you want a copy of the finished book, and like I said, there's hardly any differences. There's a few words that were replaced, they were wrong, or they weren't the right word I wanted to use. And some areas I made bold type instead of normal, and small little details here and there. What you have, you'll understand what you're looking at. But if you wanted to get a copy of the finished book that's out there now, there's on page 214, halfway down the page starts the text. Halfway down the page on 214, right here. In the first paragraph, there's a misspelled word in your copy. And I don't know how that got through spell checking, but it did. It's a simple word, and it's misspelled, and you'll see it right away. And first paragraph, page 214, that paragraph starts out with bold type saying position number 3. And then the paragraph goes on. And you'll see it. If you want a copy of the finished book, I will send you one. If you email me, tell me I bought the book before December 17th. I have the misspelled words. I'd like to have a copy of the finished book. And the misspelled word is, say what it is, and I will send you a hard copy of the new book. So it was my mistake, and I'll be happy to do that. I'll also sign it for you, and I'll be getting copies of my book around January 15th. So we got a good 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before I'll have it. But more than happy to do that for you. And so that's that. It was something. Amazon's great the way they've been handling it, but I didn't realize that I let them publish my book before I was ready to publish it. So that'll be done if you want. Bare Bones Tarot, the book you bought. Email me at tarotmaps@gmail.com. That's tarotmaps@gmail.com. That's my email. Tell me, just write in there, corrected book or another copy of your book or something like that in the subject. I'll know who you are then. And just tell me what that misspelled word is, and I'll know I can know you got one of those books. And we'll do that. Or come to Tarot Group on January 12th and tell me what it is. And I'll do that too. So there's 3 of you, if you're interested. Also, if you're buying my deck now, also available on tarotmaps.com. I was sending them out in these bubble wraps. That is being now, I'm going to be doing it priority mail instead. It's a little bit quicker, and we've been having such trouble with the post office that this is a better way to go now. So that's how you'll be getting your deck. My mat is still being sent in the tubes, and that's for sale too. Oh, I wanted to mention one other thing. If you do buy my deck, seeing it is going in this now, I have room to put in one of my bookmarks. My bookmarks have the keyword meanings, major arcana, minor arcana on here. And it's nice to have for a bookmark when you're reading about tarot cards, because then you can, you want to know what's that card mean again. You can take a look at your bookmark and see what it says. But you could use it as a bookmark for your book. So I put one of these in there. It fits in the box, and so I might as well throw them in there. I got them here at the house. And if anybody does buy my deck, I don't even ask if you want it signed anymore. People just get a signed card with it, because too many people ask me to sign the deck, and you can't really sign a deck of cards anywhere. So what I do now is I made and a lot of people see this already, they've got it, so they know. I made another card just for signing to you. And it matches the deck. And what I do is I write your name, thank you, and I sign it. And I put Patishi on the back of the card. And I slice the shrink wrapping on the top, and I just slide it in there like this in your deck. So that's what you get. So you have a signed deck. And that's that. So anyway, keep throwing cards, and see you soon.